Hey guys, what's going on? Mr. Strader here again. Today we're going to be doing a very fun activity called the Maze of Doom. Alright, so the activity is really not scary at all, but it is pretty fun. We're going to go over first what you guys are going to need to get this done today. Okay, so for your maze today, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a blindfold, so something that's going to cover up your eyes so you can't see. So obviously when we're doing an activity where you can't see anything, we're not going to be doing a lot of cardio-based activities. This is going to be something where you're going to be walking at a slower pace. Number two, you're going to need a lot of junk. A lot of junk, okay? Now, this can mean a lot of different things, but you should have something that's going to be able to sit on your floor, something that you're going to have to walk around, but something that's not going to be, an injury risk or something where you could get really hurt. Okay, so the third thing you're going to need a big open space. Now, this activity can be done outside. I'm actually going to show you inside because today the weather's really not so nice out. So it can be done inside, but you definitely need a bigger room to do this. If you do end up doing it outside, the maze obviously can become a lot bigger, okay? You also want a set of boundary lines. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a line. If you're indoors, it could be something as simple as the wall. If you're outdoors, you could line up like cones or something that's going to kind of keep you in a certain area, but you should have boundaries that you need to stay inside of. And one last thing, you're going to need a partner. Now, this partner could be mom, dad, it could be a brother, sister, really doesn't matter, but this is a team building activity. So you're going to need somebody that is going to be what we call your guide. Now, if this activity sounds familiar, it might be because I did run this activity during our cooperative games unit for my 3 through 5 students, but the K through 2 students didn't get a chance to do this one yet this year, so I figured now would be a good time to kind of pitch it to you guys so you could try it at home. All right, so I am doing my best today to keep my talking short so we can get right into the activity. So at this point in time, I'm going to take you downstairs. I'm going to show you the Maze of Doom that I have set up, and then I'll show you how the activity works, okay? So let's head downstairs. Okay guys, so very quickly I just want to run you through my maze. Now before we get started, I did mention that you're going to need boundary lines. You want to have a start and a finish line on your maze. So our start line is going to be right where the hardwood meets the carpet here, and then the finish line is going to be all the way over by where that table is at the far end of the room. Now you want to try to make sure that your course is safe. I've done the best I can here to do that, but just make sure that you don't have any objects that could hurt somebody that are in the way, and it's going to be on the guide to keep the person that is on the course safe. Okay, so you're going to have somebody that's we're going to call the walker. So that's the person that's traveling through the maze, and then the guide is going to be the person that goes with the walker. Their goal, again, is to get that person from one end of the maze to the other, and the ultimate goal of this game is to make sure that the walker doesn't touch any objects on the way to the finish line, okay? Now, if you touch an object, what I will usually do is set some sort of exercise rule to it. So in other words, let's say I'm walking, and so I'm a walker right now, and I accidentally bump into a brick, okay? So every time you touch an object, whether it be with your hands, feet, whatever, now you have to do, say, 10 jumping jacks, 10 mountain climbers before you can continue on, okay? So it obviously, the goal of the game is not only to make it to the end, but do so without hitting any objects and as quickly as possible. Now, the maze, you can see that I've left some open areas. You do want to leave some space to travel, okay? You don't want to make it too hard. What I usually do is like anything that I would call out of bounds, so like this couch, for example, or the table, anything like that would also be like a boundary line. So if my partner, the person that's walking, if I was the guide, if they ran into something, then that would be the same as running into any of the objects that are out here on the floor. Okay, so again, this is really all cooperation based and how well can you guys work as a small team of 2, okay? Now, usually what I'll do is when the person that's the walker gets all the way to the finish line, I'll have everybody go back to the beginning, and the guide and the walker will switch out. So then the walker would now be the new guide, guide would be the new walker, and then they try again. I usually will do this in 4 different rounds, and each round it makes it a little bit harder. And this will make a little bit more sense once I show you guys with my helper today. But basically, you would have it so round 1 would be, if you were the guide, the person that's guiding the walker, you would allow for physical contact. So in other words, with my partner today, I'm going to be the first guide, so I could literally put my hands on my partner's shoulders and kind of walk them through, and I can use as many words as possible to do this. So round 1 should be not too hard, okay? Now round 2, I might make it so you can only use physical contact, but no words. So obviously a little bit harder, okay? Round 3, if you make it down a third time, for that time through, you would only be allowed to use words. So in round 3, we eliminate physical contact by the guides, and the walkers have to do it on their own only through listening, okay? And then in round 4, which is the hardest of the 4 rounds, for round 4, you would only be allowed to use one word at a time, one word at a time, or one word to get the person down to the other end. So for example, let's say I'm a guide and I'm walking my partner down and they reach this mat. So obviously they need to either go around it or step over. I might say step, and that would be the only word I could use to get them over that mat safely, okay? So that gives you an idea of the different levels of difficulty. I would start at round 1. If you're up for a little bit more of a challenge, you can maybe start at round 2, but I wouldn't go any higher than that at the beginning just to kind of get used to the game. Obviously, talk about it in class all the time. My number 1 is safety. So please make sure that if you are the guide, remember it is your responsibility to keep the walker safe. So if you do see somebody, say, walking towards something like this, a table, grab them at that point, do what you need to do to make sure that they don't run into anything and get hurt, okay? All right, so now we're at the point where I'm going to show you the game, and you will have even a better understanding of the game than you do right now. So my friend Tanner here is going to help me with this activity today. He is going to be what we call the walker. Notice the walker at the beginning has to wear a blindfold. Now make sure that if you're the guide, that the walker cannot see out of the bottom. Tanner, can you see my hand below you?
No.
Oh, great answer. Okay, so blindfold needs to be over the eyes to start for the walker. Now, I'm going to be the guide, so my job is to get Tanner safely down to the other end of our maze. But remember, the goal is to do this as quickly as possible, and I'm trying to make sure that he doesn't run into anything. Now, every time... Okay, that's okay. Every time we run into something, whether it be me or Tanner, we both have to do, I'm going to say 10 jumps today for every object that we touch on our way down, okay? So it just slows things down. You're trying to get to the end without hitting anything in as quickly as possible, okay? Now, round 1, I already mentioned this before, but as the guide, I can use physical contact to get Tanner down. I can also use my words, okay? And I can use unlimited words to do this. So that means that I can grab onto Tanner's shoulders, arms, whatever I need to do to get him down to the other end. I can do that for the first round only, okay? So Tanner, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Remember, you only walk during this activity. You cannot run, okay? Okay. Ready, set, go. All right, Tanner, we're doing a good job. I'm going to turn you over to this side a little bit. Keep going. All right. Okay. And freeze. Now notice I'm using very specific words, so when I tell Tanner to freeze, notice he stopped right away, but it also helps with the physical contact, kind of gently hold on to the person and make sure that they come to a stop. Okay, so Tanner, we're at an object where you need to step. That's okay. You need to step over the object with a big step. Okay, so take this leg, lift it up. Ready? 1, 2.
I touched it.
Guess what happened? What do we need to do? 10 jumps. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, freeze. I'm going to take your leg, pull it over. Stay right there. Don't move. Take this leg, put it over the top. Excellent. Okay, Tanner, we're going to continue on. That's okay. As long as you can't see through. Okay, walk slowly. Small steps. Small steps. Good job, Tanner. Okay, we're almost there. Keep going straight. Good job. And we got to reach the table and finish. Tanner, nice job, buddy. So, listen, now I would take Tanner's blindfold off. We would go back to the beginning, okay? Good job, buddy. That was awesome.
Did I do it?
And you did great. We made it all the way down to the end.
Let's do it again.
And now, guess what happens?
What?
We have to go back down again. Daddy, if we went again, would be the new walker, so I would blindfold myself. Tanner would be our new guide. Okay, so that would be round 1, and then if you can complete round 1, you're trying to do 2, 3, and 4, okay? All right, guys, so that's your physical activity challenge of the day. One quick reminder before I let you go. Right now, currently in our exercise video challenge submissions, we are at 85 videos. That is awesome, guys. But We still have a few more days to get to 100. So we have 15 more videos that I need between now, Wednesday, all the way up through Friday in order to get me dunked into that nice cold lake, okay? So keep those videos coming in, guys. Hope everybody is staying safe, active, and healthy, and we will be talking again very soon. Take care, guys.